I want to talk about people who are struggling to find success. Let's say they're in your shoes, trying to find that shift in job. Um, Easy number. Let's say they have $10,000 in the bank. What's your advice for someone looking to create more wealth? Is that stocks? Is that cryptocurrency? Is that buying books, courses, mentorship? What would you do if you were in that situation?
So the first thing I would say to that question, because I do get that question quite often, if I have 10 grand, what do I,
Mhm.
what should I do? But to me, it's a lot deeper because, is that 10 grand monthly? Is that 10 grand passively? Is that 10, because 10 grand ain't going to get you much,
No,
right?
nothing. Yeah.
And so because the truth is, what I would like you to do with the 10 grand is I'd like you to stick it in the savings account, okay? Because that's your emergency fund that you have as you're building your business.
Okay.
So that's what I would say about the 10 grand. So the deeper part is I want you to create a business that scales and that can be duplicated without you.
Mm.
So if I could create a business with massive reoccurring passive income, then that 10 grand comes in every month. And then guess what? After 3 months, we have 30,000, or maybe just call it 20 grand or whatever. You got to pay your bills, whatever, which I lived way below my means in the early days, because what I was doing is, and I would do this is kind of interesting. I don't know if a lot of people do this or not, but I had a checking account, or even in my Quicken account. I've been using Quicken forever. And what I would do is every time I would get a check that came in from the business, I would try to pay off my bills as early as I could within the month. And then I took whatever excess there was and I stuck it in my savings account. Okay. Now I know I can hear people right now, oh, savings are only paying 0 point whatever. No, that's not my point. My point is this: is you stick it in the savings account as a holding,
Mm.
little
Just storing it.
pod
Yeah.
for you,
Mhm.
right? Like it's a storage for you, right? You hold it there until you start to really amass, right? You take care of your emergency fund, and then you start working on your longer term accounts. Like if you're young, I mean, at least max out your Roth IRA,
Yeah.
right? Stick it in a mutual fund, max out your Roth, because that's only like $5,000 to do that.
Mhm.
So you can easily do that. Take the tax-free money, nothing wrong with that. And then what I would do is, which I think I wish I would have done a better job, because I maxed out all my IRAs, I maxed out all my mutual funds, I did all the things I was supposed to do, and that helped me. I earned some really great returns in the beginning, but I think I could have done much better had I done all of that, and on top of that, learned how to trade, right?
Mhm.
Learned how to understand where the demand zones are and supply zones, and understand charts, and I wish earlier on I would have figured all that out, so that way my excess became this ability. Because again, you want mutual funds because they're going to give you a solid rate of return over the long run without you doing a lot of the work. And as you're building your business, you may not have a lot of time to learn all the charting, learn all the information, and stay on top of your stocks and stay on top of your portfolios every single day. So if that's the case, I recommend stick a good chunk of your money in places where they're handling it for you. Now, the excess of that, learn how to trade. So that way you can start multiplying your money a little bit quicker when maybe you have a little bit more time to invest in managing those assets. Okay. Because, and the other thing I'm gonna just tell you is that some of these stockbrokers that want to try to manage your assets, they're a bunch of idiots. Okay. And I'm telling you, I've met them, I've seen
Mhm.
them. They're idiots. They don't know what they're doing, and they're just picking stocks so they can generate commissions from you. So, be leery of that kind of stuff. As far as crypto, I'm not an expert at crypto, but there's no question. The metaverse is coming.
Yep.
Cryptocurrencies are coming. Ethereum. I own Ethereum. I own, some other, altcoins. And so I believe in the future of what crypto is going to do. But just FYI, I'm not trying to sell crypto to anybody, despite
Mhm.
all the fakes that I get on my Instagram
Yeah, there's
account.
a lot of them.
And people get messages from me. They're like, "Hey, Daniel, you selling crypto now?" I swear
Mhm.
to you, I ain't selling crypto. So, anyways.
Awesome. Great advice there. You've mentioned scaling, you mentioned 10x. What is the best way to scale your life? We talk about scaling business and getting to the next level, but scaling your life, increasing your income, increasing happiness, freedom. What advice do you have there?
Well, I mean, look, it starts with your why. It starts with what are you after? What decisions are you making in your life? And that starts with writing it down. It's really getting deep into what brings you joy, what brings you happiness. I mean,
Mhm.
happiness for me is traveling. Like I love to travel. So every chance I get, I have a buddy called me up a couple of days ago. He's like, "Hey man, I'm going to Reno. You want to, hang out with me for a day or two?" And I'm like, "Yeah, let's do it." So I ordered up a plane, got the hotel, and I'm gonna be in Reno next week. You know what I mean? Another buddy's like, "Hey, I got a 60th birthday party in Las Vegas." And so in a couple of weeks, I'll be in Las Vegas. So I love to travel. I love to do, and I'm not a gambler, by the way. I know I just mentioned two big
Yeah.
gambling cities. I'm not a big gambler, I promise you that. But I just love. I actually like, maybe because I didn't ever have a job that required me to travel every day, and because I know people that travel every day and they hate traveling, right? I love to be in the airport. I
Mhm.
love to be on planes. I love the process of getting ready and
Interesting.
that feeling,
Hmm.
yeah, of going somewhere and getting to a destination and seeing things you've never seen. I've been to Thailand and South Africa and Europe, all over Europe, and
Wow.
Italy and Canada, and I mean all just about all 50 states I've been to, and so I like that is what brought me joy. So the answer to the question is figure out what it is that you want, because some people are like, "I just want to be on the beach
Mhm.
and I want a good book and I just want to be there all day long and relax." And you know what? If you want that, then guess what? Go get that.
Yeah.
There's a plenty of beaches for you to do that, but you can't do it when you have a job that is paying you uh, very little. Or
Mhm.
maybe you're only able to do that once a year or twice a year versus getting to do that any time you want. So again, the business is, to me, the biggest equation here. You cannot be an employee and get financially, really, I mean, like super financially free. It's going to take you too long. You'll get there when you retire, but I
Mhm.
wanted to retire at 28. I want to retire at 30, not at 80, 70 or whatever, right? I
Yeah.
wanted to be in a situation where, man, I'm calling the shots every single day, doing what I want to do every single day of my life. But remember, it's a business, and can't be just any business. It's not a car detailing business. I'm sorry. It's not going to get you free, man, because you're scrubbing the tires all day long, man. You have to have a business that you can recruit and train and develop other people. I have 49 financial services locations. I have over 1,500 licensed agents,
Mhm.
and I haven't had to work since I was 28. So it's because I built a process, I duplicated that process, and then I scaled that business, quickly.
Awesome. That got me fired up. Thank you for that. We
Mhm.
got one more important question for you, but before we get to that, where can everybody find you on social media?
So you got to get me on Instagram. I
Yeah.
love Instagram. That's my favorite spot.
Great content.
That's where I get all my DMs. So people send me a message. I mean, please send me a message. Let me know that you saw me on Matt's show or you heard me on Matt's show, and reach out to me. Just say, "Hey, Daniel, can you give me some advice?" I mean, I answer all my DMs. I got a lot of free time. Okay, so I answer all my DMs. I engage with my entire audience. But I also have a really good YouTube channel. So if you check out Daniel Alonzo on YouTube, and it's Daniel Alonzo, and so you can catch me on YouTube. Of course, on Instagram, I'm drinking a coconut. Okay, and I have like 32,000 followers. So if you see my Instagram and it has like 700 followers, it's fake.
Yeah.
Okay, so I got a lot of fakes coming out there, but I just, I have a podcast, Wealth on the Beach. podcast that we put out a weekly podcast, and then of course my YouTube channel's crazy, but it's fun. I mean, there's so many places to get me, but I want to hear from your audience.
Yeah.
If you're listening to this, reach out. Let's have a conversation.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. Obviously, this is the Define Success podcast, so I have to ask you to close out. How do you define success?
I mean, it's one word to me. It's just freedom.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think that if you can get to a point in your life where you create enough freedom, you then have options to do whatever you want to do. And of course, if you could have a healthy body, right, that's a part of the success. If you could have a healthy mind, and you're always growing and you're always learning, and of course happiness to me is progress. So as long as I'm making some progress, those are the things that bring me joy. I mean, and again, if you have all of that, if you can move around well, and you can have a good mind, and you could travel, and you could see other parts of the world, and then you can also give of your time. I had a young kid call me yesterday, or he sent me an email, and he says, "Hey, I want you to mentor me." And he lives kind of in a city not too far. And I said, you know what? Okay. Simple as that. He's like, man, I tried so many people, and nobody returned my calls. Nobody helped, nobody wants to help me. And he's like, I got this report I got to write on a successful person, and blah, blah, blah. And I said, yeah, no problem. We'll figure it out. I mean, I'll we'll schedule some Zooms and have you come over the house, and you can interview me, blah, blah, whatever. I mean, it's like, that's success. Like, that is life, that you can give to others, you can make progress, and you can be free to choose when and where you want to do the things that you want to do. It's a fun life. I hope that your audience really embraces what we talked about today. I hope they embrace the discipline. I hope they get focused on doing what other people will not do. I hope they focus on making sure that they stop worrying about what other people think about them, and just say, sometimes you got to say, fuck it. Sometimes you got to just go, man. Sometimes you just got to go do it. Sometimes you just got to, it's a do it now attitude. Sometimes you just got to say, you know what? I know I'm probably going to fail. I know it's probably going to end up, crazy, but I'm going to try anyways, because I'll never, if I don't try something, Matt, I'll never forgive myself if I don't try something. If I believe I can do it, I'm going for it. I'm going to try at least. Yes, I might fail, and I failed at plenty of things. Okay, and it was just learning experiences, anyways. It's really, failure is not failure; it's just a learning experience. But you get it, right? We all fall down. We all, right? Don't think for a second, man, that successful people are people that have made a lot of money, or built some, whatever. Like, stop thinking that they're special or different, or like, I'm no better than you. I just got a little more. I got a few more years on you. I got more experience. I had some good coaches and mentors, and I made some good decisions. But man, like, I'm not better than you. I don't deserve better things than you. I don't deserve a better life. I don't deserve more freedom. I don't deserve to see the world more than you do. You're going to have all of those things too. You just have to be willing to do some of the things that I did, so that you can experience those things too, because that's what I did. I humbled myself. No freaking ego, man. I had no ego. I followed what they told me to do, and I woke up like 7 years later. I was like, holy shit, man, like, this thing works.
Yeah.
I made it. Like, I did but I did what they told me to do. I didn't argue with them, right? I didn't fight with them. I just did it. And it made all of the difference, man. Thank you for watching our short clips on Alonzo Academy. If you'd like to watch the next short clip, click here. If you'd like to watch the entire podcast, click here.